Has everyone else joined? We will wait for 1 minute.
Jaykumar is there, Asha ji is there.
Okay, fine.
We can begin.
We can. So let us all sit erect with our chin parallel to the floor, closed eyes, allowing the whole body down and relax. Slowly inhale. Gently. So in the last session, we had done, after completing the Shatkarma, understood how to go ahead with the practice of Kumbhaka. And in that practice of Kumbhaka, we understood how to have the right approach and the proper way of going ahead with Puraka, Kumbhaka, and Rechaka. As you inhale, the Puraka is done, and you are told to apply Mula Bandha and then Jalandhara Bandha. As the Mula Bandha is applied and Puraka done, Jalandhara Bandha applied, before doing the Rechaka, the Udyan is applied. And as that is done, the Rechaka is completed. We were given a very detailed
Savik bhai, you are on mute.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Again, you have gone on mute. You have again gone on mute, sir.
Yes. Wisdom is getting mute automatically. Okay, fine. So, after understanding all the prerequisite and how to perform the Kumbhaka, that is with respect to Puraka, Kumbhaka, and Rechaka, how to perform all the varieties of pranayam, we are going ahead. We also discussed first pranayam, that is Surya Bhedan. In that Surya Bhedan, how we can purify the Kapal, the whole skull, as well as how we can overcome Vata dosha disorders, and how the worms, or you can say the diseases caused by worms, can be overcome by the practice of Surya Bhedan. Worms can be taken to any foreign organism which is uh, getting developed in the body or causing harm to the body. So Surya Bhedan is helping us to overcome. Many a times we are told that people with high blood pressure should not practice Surya Bhedan. Understanding of not to practice Surya Bhedan as a Kumbhaka, but one can certainly practice Surya Bhedan with Purak and Rechak even if that person is having high blood pressure, not a problem. This has been scientifically understood. Kumbhaka is the time where a person slightly, if compromised with his breathing or with his heartbeats, can face problems. So a person with marginalized high blood pressure can still go ahead and practice Surya Bhedan without Kumbhaka and still experience the benefit. Or as it is said here, Kapala Shodhanam, Vata Doshatanam, Krumi Dosha Harat. But the goal, the approach is to be with Kumbhaka. Importance should be given to Kumbhaka, that is retention of the breath in. And as we do retain the breath in, it has been told to us earlier that you should apply Moola Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha, and Udyan Bandha in order to bring about those changes in the different Vayus related to Pran, Apan, Saman, Vyan, or even Udan. With this clarity, as we have done in this class, let us today start with Ujjayi. A beautiful pranayam or kumbhaka yuga, where nad is given an importance. In the yoga world, call it as oceanic breath. People call it as victorious breath. The word Ujjayi is said to be derived from Ud and Jay. Ud means to pronounce loudly or speak loudly, and Jay is the proclamation of, or you can say the way the samuha of the Sainik, or you can say the group of soldiers, how they do the Jai Jaikar and the sound comes. And the sound collectively seems to be like being produced from the throat. All said and done, this is our understanding. How it is produced is by contracting the laryngeal muscles. Larynx is your voice box. The muscles around your larynx, as you're contracting them, slightly squeezing them, there is a pressure developed on your voice box, on your vocal cords. There are two cords in our voice box which make us to speak. These vocal cords are coming under the pressure. How this pressure is created? During inhalation and exhalation. Now that pressure is happening because of the partial closure of the glottis. How that partial closure of the glottis is. Just imagine, this is my fist. It is like the windpipe. And this is the aperture, which is, this region is the glottis, and this is the aperture, epiglottis. As you eat something and gulp, this closes, and the food goes through the food pipe into the stomach. But whenever you inhale, it opens up to take air into the lungs. So even if you are inhaling through the mouth, it is going to go into the lungs. So whether you inhale through the nose or whether you inhale through the mouth, it has to go to the lungs only. At the same time, while eating food also we are breathing and we are letting the air to go into the lungs. So the moment the morsel in the mouth nicely chewed, as we gulp it, the moment that gulping action takes place at the throat, you will find that the glottis, epiglottis closes and the food goes into the stomach. कभी कभी बात करते करते हम खाना खाते हैं तो हल्का फुल्का सा अन्न पदार्थ जो है हमारे श्वसन नलिका में चला जाता है एंड दैट गिव्स यू अ कफिंग सेंसेशन। फिर आपकी मम्मी आपके पीठ के पर हाथ रखकर थपथपाती है जोर से, तो जो थोड़ा बहुत अंदर चला गया वो करके बाहर निकल जाता है। तो दैट थंपिंग ऑफ द बैक is like giving that jerk to anything which has gone into the windpipe to be pushed out. जब कोई किसी को ऐसे ठसका उसका लगता है तो कहते हैं कि चेहरा ऊपर करो। चेहरा ऊपर करने का मतलब ही ये हो गया कि you allow a kind of force to take place, thereby any small particle which is thrown out. This is something which has to be understood with this process of breathing. Now, imagine while inhaling and exhaling, by contraction of the laryngeal muscles, you are creating that pressure or a slight gentle contraction of these muscles, whereby the epiglottis is partially closed. The moment it is partially closed, anything that is going in and going out will be happening with a little bit of more force. And that is the force which is creating the sound. It is not that you are creating the sound purposefully, but you are just allowing the pressure on the voice box to take place with the partial closure of the epiglottis, which makes the air passage constricted. And this constricted air passage will always give that kind of creation of friction, and the frictional sound is produced, and that is known as the sound of Ujjayi. That way you can understand the production of the sound. Another explanation to the same, people do it with force, people do it with more strength and try to produce different sound. Sometimes people ask whether the sound of snoring and doing the same. So no, it is not same. It's very different. In fact, the sound of Ujjayi is breathing more and more dirgha and sukshma, whereas the snoring sound is always going to make you disturbed, vulnerable. Here, as the shloka is describing the production of this sound, you will understand what is the technique that we need to produce so that we develop a kind of gentle pressure on the chest so that you are experiencing that hissing sound. It says, Mukham Sanyamya Nadibhyam Akrushya Pavanam Shanaihi Yatha Lagati Kantha Hridayavati Saswanam. Closing the mouth, the person should inhale air or draw the air through both nostrils. As the mouth is closed and nose is inhaling the air in, you are set to produce a sound in such a way that its impact should be felt in the chest or the throat region. Initially, that's why we instruct the student to contract the laryngeal muscles. But now my practice tells me that I have to just bring one thing in my mind, that I am going to practice Ujjayi. And I don't have to contract my laryngeal muscles. In fact, the thought in the mind that I have to do Ujjayi itself is making that sound so gentle and so sukshma that in spite of not contracting the throat region, I can hear that sound. And I can still feel the pressure or the impact on my chest. Hridayavati Saswanam. You should feel its impact on your chest. So this is how it is said to be done while inhaling as well as while exhaling. So here Swatmaramji has given the technique of exhalation after doing Vidhivat Kumbhaka. विधिवत कुंभक का मतलब जैसे ऑलरेडी आपको कुंभक कैसे करना चाहिए बताया गया। कुंभक कैसे करना चाहिए, आपने सांस तो अंदर ले ली, अब आपका मूल बंध तो लगा हुआ ही है। चिन लॉक यानी जालंधर बंध लगाओ, एब्डोमिनल लॉक यानी उद्यान बंध लगाओ और अपने रेशियो के हिसाब से प्राण को अंदर रोक कर रखो। अब जब रेचक की बारी आती है तो स्वात्माराम जी कहते हैं कि राइट नॉस्ट्रल को बंद करते हुए चिन को रिलीज करके आप बाईं ओर से रेचक करो। लेकिन बाईं ओर से जब आप रेचक भी करते हैं तो उसका भी वो हिसिंग साउंड आना चाहिए। If you see the 52nd shloka, it says पूर्ववत कुंभयेत। जैसे पहले आपको टेक्निक बताई गई है उस तरह से कुंभ का अभ्यास करो। प्राणम रेचयेत ईडया, ईड़ा यानी आपकी लेफ्ट नॉस्ट्रल, आप वहां से रेचक करो। श्लेष्म दोष हरम कंठे, गले से रिलेटेड जितनी भी कफ, बट at the same time, people say it is not only the problems related to kapha, even the problems related to the malfunction of the organ situated in the throat can be managed. Deha anala vivardhanam. You will find that the heat in the body is improving. When we say vivardhanam, increasing, that means bringing it to that level where it is essential to produce that heat, stimulate that kundalini. Because as we go ahead, we will understand that Kundalini Shakti, which is lying in a very dormant state, Supta Avastha, is in that congestion of kapha. So when the body is slowly experiencing, gradually increasing the Deha Anala, the heat of the body, a day comes when this phlegmatic congestion around the Kundalini, it is a conceptual understanding. Remember, there is nothing like, properly a serpent shaped Kundalini there, and there is lot of kapha there holding onto it tightly. We have to understand this Kundalini as a Shakti which is not allowed to carry on its own work of becoming one with the self or one with the Shiva, but it is completely involved into the material worldliness, carrying out various activities. Now, involving with the materialism or into worldliness is nothing but tied down in congestion with Sleshma. We have to understand this conceptual knowledge that way. Then we say that this congestion of the kapha is weakened or removed by the Deha Anala with the heat generated in the body. That means you are creating a kind of situation where the Kundalini Shakti is getting activated and flowing through the Madhya, that is through the Sushumna Nadi. Every pranayam has its goal in activating the Shakti and taking you ahead. Now, this has to be conceptually understood in such a way, making you getting rid of everything that is not part of your existence, but it is belonging to Maya or illusion. And as you are becoming one with the understanding of the self, it is like activating Kundalini and moving on to that path. So this is how it is to be understood. अब हमने 3-4 बातें की। गले के स्नायुओं का आकुंचन, श्वास लेते समय यानी पूरक करते समय घर्षण वाली आवाज जो आपके कानों को सुनाई दे। उसके बाद आपने कुंभक किया विधिवत, जैसे आपको बंधनों के साथ, बंध के साथ में करने के लिए कहा गया। और अभी आप रेचक कर रहे हो बाई नथुनी से यानी ईड़ा नाड़ी से, और रेचक भी आप जो है उसी तरह से घर्षण वाली आवाज को हल्के से, बहुत ही मधुर ध्वनि जो आपके कानों को जो है अंदर से ही सुनाई दे, ऐसे समझो। और ये करते हुए जब आप प्रैक्टिस करते रहते हैं, a kind of state of pratyahara is taking place and you are completely internalized from the externalization, you can say. So as we go on internalizing ourselves deep within, we are helping ourselves with the help of pranayam to increase our level towards the self higher and higher and become one with it. So this is how we have to understand Ujjayi. And in the 53rd shloka, it says more about the benefits. Nadi, Jalodhara, Dhatugat dosha, Vinashanam. Gachata, Tishtata, Karyam, Udyayakyam tu Kumbhakam. गच्छता तिष्ठता, चलते फिरते खड़े होकर, कहने का मतलब ये हुआ कि इवन इफ यू आर इनटू एनी एक्शन, डे टू डे एक्शन, टुडे इन द मॉर्निंग वी वर डिस्कसिंग इन द भगवत गीता क्लास, you should do your worldly activities physically as you are supposed to do according to your, but mentally you should be involved into that oneness with the self, not get attached to the worldly activities, but develop that kind of detachment. Now here also when it is said, gachata tishtata karyam ujjayakyam tu kumbhakam, भले आप रिटेंशन करो नहीं करो, ये मेरा वर्ड्स है, जबकि यहाँ पर ये कह रहे हैं कि आप ये कुंभक जो है चलते फिरते भी कर सकते हो, गच्छता तिष्ठता, खड़े होकर भी कर सकते हो। हमसे ये एक्सपेक्ट किया जाता है कि हम बैठकर बराबर से पोजीशन में करें, लेकिन यहाँ पर स्वात्माराम जी ने हमें एक छूट दे दी। उन्होंने कहा कि चलते फिरते, उठते बैठते, इवन लेटे हुए भी आप इसको ले सकते हैं। आप ये उज्जयी का प्राणायाम कर सकते हैं। Why? Just to get internalized, just to get that pratyahar flowing, happening, where your senses are directed inward and you are completely becoming slowly, gradually detached from the external world. And that is how Ujjayi is helping you to go towards not only pratyahar, dharana and dhyana, but it may lead you into other siddhis also. जैसे कि हमने 45th श्लोक पढ़ा और उसमें कहा गया है कि हर एक जो वैरायटी है उसकी टेक्निक अलग है और हर एक टेक्निक से हो सकता है आपको एक प्रकार की सिद्धि मिले। अब वो एक प्रकार की सिद्धि सुपर नॉर्मल पावर्स भी हो सकते हैं, या फिर वो एक प्रकार की सिद्धि गेनिंग कंट्रोल ऑन ऑल द सेंसेस एंड बिकमिंग फोकस्ड ऑन द पाथ ऑफ सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन भी हो सकता है। एनीथिंग, बिकॉज इट सक्सेस इज सक्सेस अल्टीमेटली। So this is how we have to connect Ujjayi and keep on practicing. Now, with this 3-4 shlokas done, let us have some discussion on this Ujjayi now. Sunil bhai, you wanted to say something? Acha, you didn't. Okay. I thought you raised your finger, so I felt like you wanted to ask something. So is it clear with you all how to go about this Ujjayi? Ashutosh sir?
Okay. Fine. Now, while exhaling, then we physically block the right nostril with the
Yes.
finger. Or
Yes. Yes.
any particular mudra, or it is just any which way that.
Pranav mudra, your Anguli mudra. Yes, you just close it like this. In fact, now imagine I am doing the pranayam. I have done purak through both the nostril. As soon as I have completed my puraka, I close my nostril and apply chin lock. I apply abdominal lock, maintain according to my ratio. I release the chin lock, open up the left nostril to exhale. But the moment the exhalation is done, I bring the hand down to do the puraka, the next puraka through both the nostrils. So this is how we need to continue. Is that clear? And this sound, some people try to produce with lot of involvement of the muscles, the neck muscles, the facial muscles, even the chest, and they produce excruciating sound. This sound is like this. ऐसे करके श्वास लेते हैं. And while exhaling also, while doing the rechak also, they are trying to produce a sound. Sometimes I feel more than making the mind peaceful, it is a disturbing sound. This is my belief. The sound which is produced during Puraka and Rechaka, it should be audible to your own ears and it should lead to that Dirgha and Sukshma part. There is nothing which should be Sthula. It should be Sukshma, as Patanjali says. Desha, Kala, Sankhya, Vihi, Paradrishto, Dirgha, Sukshmaha. So, our preparation by Hatha Yoga is for Raja Yoga only. Raja Yoga is Patanjali's yoga. So we should understand these techniques as explained by Swatma Ramji as a goal towards Raja Yoga, always keeping in our mind Raja Yoga, how it can be attained, and telling us to understand. And thereby we come to the conclusion that the sound which is produced by the practice of Ujjayi has to be very gentle, very peaceful, बहुत ही सुख प्रदायक होना चाहिए. So this is how Ujjayi is been done. And when we say Nadi Dosha, Talodhara, or Dhatugat, we should understand any kind of imbalance in the era with the help of Ujjayi. And we have seen in our teaching, in my 15, 16 years teaching, I would really be very glad to share with you. People who were having continuous tonsillitis, of course, during the period of the inflammation of the tonsils, they were not advised. They were said not to do anything but just be focused on breathing. But whenever the tonsil inflammation has settled down, they were encouraged to practice Ujjayi regularly. And it was found, yes, their inflammation or infection of the tonsils went on reducing. That means somewhere the changes in the body has helped that person to improve upon his immunity, and the inflammation of the tonsils was marginalized or overcome. People who are into profession of singing and people who are into profession of teaching, professors, teachers, school teachers, they have to shout a lot in the classroom on their students to make them disciplined or hear or to speak out. Nowadays, even mic is given, but at the same time, there was a time when this system was not there. During my childhood, I never saw teacher having mic in the hand and giving the class the lecture, even though we were 90 students in one class. आजकल 40 स्टूडेंट होते हैं फिर भी टीचर को माइक की जरूरत पड़ती है. अच्छी बात है, nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, teachers should practice Ujjayi regularly. When they are doing that, they are always helping their spots to remain in the pink of the health. नहीं तो कभी उनका गला बैठ जाता है, तो कभी soreness of the throat comes in, and they, because of that problem, they may be forced to skip their sessions. So if you want to make it happening peacefully, you should daily practice Ujjayi. So this is how Ujjayi has to be understood. अब मैंने दोनों वर्जन्स बता दिए, एक तो जनरल कॉमन पब्लिक के लिए how it is helpful, and at the same time how this pranayam can help an individual who is on the path of self-realization, who want to attain manonmani avastha or unmani avastha. So for that also how Ujjayi can be really very much beneficial. So this is how we are understanding the aspect of Ujjayi and going ahead. Any questions in your mind?
Question.
Yes,
Is
yes.
there a limit to the number of rounds we should do?
Ideally, minimum 5 cycles we should do, and gradually go on increasing. In fact, we have been already told, as you are doing better and better, the body is adapted to it, and you can improve your level to performing 80 cycles in a go. But that 80 cycles should not be done at the start. And that too, at the start, you may not be employing the Kumbhaka phase at all. You may be just doing Puraka and Rechaka. And that too 1:1. Then making the Puraka Rechaka 1:2. Then introducing the Kumbhaka in between 1:1:2. And slowly, from 1:2:2, 1:3:2, reach 1:4:2. And what 1:4:2 ratio you are employing? 4, 16, and 8, maybe the very low. Slowly, gradually increase it up to 12, 48, and 24. Then 16, 64, 32. And ultimately 20, 80, 40. तो जब हम इस तरह से, so that is why pranayam is a great sadhana. It has already been described where you should reach, what is the vision. And for that vision, what kind of mission and values you should imbibe in order to reach that vision. So this is very clear in pranayama. And once you are involved in that kind of gradual practice and reaching the goal step by step, you will never come across any problems also. That is how we should go. And your body does tells you where you have to stop by giving you the symptoms. As earlier we read, Hikka, Shwasascha, Kashascha, Shira, Karana, Akshi, Vedanaha, Bhavanti Vividaha, Rogaha, Pavanasya Prakopata. These are the Prakop of Pavana, because you are unknowingly, wrongly practicing the pranayama. And the body itself will give you the symptoms which one should be able to understand. And once you know about it very clearly, you will come down. Again, come back to the basics, get it corrected and go. Sometimes things which we have learned are supposed to be unlearned by coming down to the basics, and then again learn it in a correct way are also very essential. And let me be very clear, this happens very good of the sadhakas. They may be practicing for years and still they may end doing something wrong. And if there is something wrong happening, they can always consult their teachers. You can always come. There is nothing wrong in doing that. In fact, a teacher who is already in today's scenario, a teacher who is teaching, and if he finds himself doing the mistake, he can get himself evaluated from his students. My teacher used to say, nothing wrong in doing that. क्योंकि आप प्रॉब्लम फेस कर रहे हो ना, आपने ऑलरेडी सामने वाले को बताया कि कहां पर ऐसा गलत हो रहा है जिसके वजह से मैं ये प्रॉब्लम, और आप प्रैक्टिस करते जाइए, लेट द अदर पर्सन ऑब्जर्व यू एंड द अदर पर्सन विल टेक नोट कि where unknowingly you are getting into that forceful practice. The moment you realize, you are given the note of the same, and then you realize, okay, this is the mistake I have been doing. So here, if you realize that there is something wrong, it is very important to get it correct. इसीलिए तो बार बार स्वात्माराम जी कहते रहते हैं, गुरु प्रदिष्ट मार्गेण प्राणायामम समभ्यसेत सदा अभ्यसेत. तो गुरु के उपदेश के अनुसार ही हमको प्रैक्टिस करते रहना चाहिए. और वो उपदेश सिर्फ हमें ही नहीं, हम सबको मालूम है. तो कभी कभी एक दूसरे से भी गाइडेंस लेकर हमको अपने आप को करेक्ट करके आगे चलते रहना चाहिए. And nothing wrong in that. There is nothing like ego hurting. Sometimes teacher feels ना कि मेरा स्टूडेंट मेरे को क्या सिखाएगा, वहीं तो सब गड़बड़ है. So we need to understand that aspect also and get along with the learning. So clear with Ujjain? Should we go ahead? Yeah. Yes, please, ma'am.
Is there a good time to do it, morning or evening?
Always in the morning. Morning is a very good time, as well as in the evening.
Both the
In
time.
fact, Swatmaram ji goes ahead and tells us you can practice it 4 times of the day. Early morning, in the mid-afternoon, in the evening, and midnight. For us, which will be the best time? If you know this is the best time that you should be going ahead with, you should be empty stomach there. And when you are empty stomach, you can go ahead. If you're feeling better in sitting position like Padmasana, you should go ahead and start performing the pranayama. But ideally, always it is said that early morning, around 5 o'clock before the sunrise, is the ideal time to practice. But again, it depends on the time that you have with you. It is clear? Should we go ahead? Yes. Sitkari. घ्राणेनैव विजृम्भिकाम् एवम् अभ्यास योगेन कामदेवो द्वितीयकः. Now here, this last word, Kamadevo Dvitiyakah, you will be like a second Cupid, a god of love. He's like not only motivating and encouraging of the fact that the practice of pranayama is going to make you look handsome, look beautiful, and improve upon your personality. So this is to be understood very clearly here. But at the same time, one should not get into the other meaning of the same, which may relate wrongly. People who would like to become very attractive for the opposite sex and they start practicing sitkari for the same with that goal. That is not the understanding of this sentence made over here. It says sitkam kuryat tatha vaktre. From the mouth you have to inhale as if you are producing the sound sit. A sound sit is produced when you inhale through the mouth. Granenaiva vrijambikam. You should exhale regularly to your nose. Evam abhyasa yogena. Regularly as you are practicing this, you will become handsome. Now, when we say vrijambikam, many a times the teachers have come to various meanings of this word. Some people say that you have to turn your tongue upward and roll it backward in between your teeth, and that's how your lips will have that slit opening through which you are inhaling through the mouth, and the sound of sit is produced. And as you do kumbhaka, you are exhaling through the nose. So this is one understanding. There is another understanding to this sitkari which is known as sadanta pranayama. In this sadanta, you are keeping the upper jaw, or I should say upper teeth, over the lower one, like this. And you are inhaling through the opening of the lips. As the air goes in, you are producing the sound sit. Automatically, it is getting produced. And as you have inhaled, retain the breath in both the nostrils. This is how sitkari is to be done. The next is again sometimes you can understand as the exaggeration of explanation of the poetic words. It says sammanyah srushti samhara karakah yogini chakra sammanyah. That yogi who is practicing his pranayam will be surrounded by appreciating yoginis, acquires the capability of creating and destroying the universe, acquires the capacity of creating and destroying. That means he is slowly becoming so much involved in his internalized state of being that he is slowly becoming godly, as if he can create and destroy. That means he is slowly getting control on the bhautik tattva, on the Panchamahabhutas. So with his supernatural powers, he is able to create certain things, and at the same time he is able to destroy those things. So this is how this word have to be taken into consideration. But it is not to create or destroy anything. You are gaining that capacity, but the purpose is not that. The purpose is to remain in that state of oneness with the self and continue upgrading and सिद्धियां तो मिलती रहेंगी, लेकिन सिद्धियां जो है वो आपको एहसास दिलाने के लिए कि भाई आप सही मार्ग पर हो. You are on the course, going in a right way, and you are going to attain the state. You should not falter. You should not get strayed out. That's why these symptoms are always there around. And the next sentence is na shuddha na trisha nidra na naivasyam prajayate. न भूख न प्यास नींद न किसी प्रकार का आलस्य. आपको एक्सपीरियंस होता है। यानी सिर्फ बाहरी दुनिया से ही आप डिस्कनेक्ट नहीं हो जाते हो, आपका अपना शरीर जो इस नेचर को बिलोंग करता है, ये भी पंच महाभौतिक शरीर है, ये भी 5 बेसिक एलिमेंट्स का बना हुआ है। तो इवन इसकी भी जो जरूरतें हैं, जैसे कि डिजायर्स ले लो, वासना ले लो, लस्ट, एंगर और वॉट एवर वे यू कनेक्टेड, what are the things which are making us to come into this repose as Shad Ripu we know, the kind of eating we have, the kind of attitude and approach we have towards the things, the kind of habits we have developed, maybe because of the inherent gunasthiti, or maybe because of the influence of the surrounding, that we might have disturbed ourselves. But at the same time, pranayama, you will find overcoming all this evilness. वैसे एक बार गुरुजी बताते बताते बोल गए कि evilness doesn't mean only the bad things, even good things for an individual is an evilness. I said, sir, how that is evilness? He said, the people see pleasure as good and pain as bad. People see wrong thing happening as bad and good thing happening as good. But here deeds are deeds. You have to overcome both. You have to see both the things as deeds only, rather than seeing them as good deeds and bad deeds. See them as deeds. See them as actions being performed. अगर आपने वो पैरिटी वहां पर ले आई तो आपके लिए प्राणायाम करना भी आसान हो जाता है, उसको अपने आप के अंदर अपना कर अपने मार्ग पर आगे बढ़ना भी जो है आपके लिए बहुत ही सरल हो जाता है. So this is how we have to understand disciplining of the breath, and that is where we call it as pranayama. So here these two shloka, which is decorating Sitkari along, we need to go to the next one, 56th one, which is telling us about the benefits. It says, Ved Swachanda Dehastu Sarva Upadrava Varjitaha Anena Vidhina Satyam Yogi Mandale. There is no doubt that by practicing Sitkar very regularly, one or the person, the practitioner, the sadhaka is going to acquire complete control on his body. पूरे शरीर के ऊपर अपना जो कंट्रोल नियंत्रण बना लेता है, and he remains free from all kind of evilness, calamities, and he becomes the most eminent yogi of the time on the face of the earth. उस वक्त वो एक सच्चा योगी बन जाता है. आज के डेट में सब लोग योग का अभ्यास करते हैं ताकि उनकी कई बीमारियां हो जाएं, ताकि वो एक अच्छा शरीर अपना सकें और एक अच्छा जीवन जी सकें. अच्छा जीवन जीने के लिए योग को अपनाया जा रहा है, ये बहुत अच्छी बात है, लेकिन अच्छे जीवन को जीते हुए उसे त्याग कर अपने स्वरूप में आ जाना, ये किसी के समझ में नहीं आता है जल्दी. हमें इस एस्पेक्ट को हमेशा कनेक्टेड रखना चाहिए जब भी हम प्राणायाम करें या योग का कोई अभ्यास करें, कि वी आर नॉट सपोज टू गेट इनटू दैट मटेरियलिस्टिक ऑफरिंग्स that yogic practices give. Rather, we should be always connected to the spiritualistic offerings that yogic practices are supposed to bring about. So this is how this verse is made us understand to go ahead. Anything there in your mind so that we can discuss and then move ahead. Next is Chitali.
Again, how many times at one sitting?
Same approach. Same approach. All the pranayama. It is the same approach. Your ability, your capacity may gradually grow. Maybe from 5 cycles to 50 cycles. And from 5 cycles to 50 cycles, you may be taking totally 2 years. Every individual is having different abilities. Someone will reach that goal, that vision within 6 months, and someone will take 6 years. So the inherent ability and capacity is going to make one understand that he has to approach step by step, and once he reaches one step, then he should think about climbing the next step. Unless then, be steady on that path and keep practicing. Because according to your ability and capacity, what you are practicing is ideal for you. So do not compare yourself with others. कि वो तो 25 से 30 साइकिल कर लेता है, मैं 5 से 10 साइकिल में ही थक जाता हूँ. तो आप थक जाते हो, इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि your body is not supporting you to do that many cycles. So in order to bring about that kind of ability, keep practicing, and that will lead to the enhancing of your ability and capacity. So this is how the number of rounds or the Pura Kumbh Rechak should be understood. How many rounds we should do, how many repetitions we should do, is to be understood with your ability. और हमेशा हमारा शरीर में हमको इंडिकेशन देता है, हमारा शरीर कहता है अब हाथ नीचे ले आओ, अब सांसों को नॉर्मल कर लो, अब शांत बैठे रहो. ऐसा मन आपको रिक्वेस्ट करेगा, और वो रिक्वेस्ट को सुनने की एबिलिटी भी लाना, ये भी एक प्राणायाम का ही आप कहेंगे कि देन है, ये एक कला है जो आप अपना लेते हैं. And that happens automatically. Numbers are keeping on thing. You can just close your eyes and absorb in that state. कितने numbers करने चाहिए, उससे अच्छा ये जरूरी है कि इतने नंबर करने के बाद में हमको ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए. अगर ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए, हो रहा है, तो हम कम करें. अगर ऐसा एक्सपीरियंस हो रहा है, तो हम और उसके अंदर एडिशन करते जाएं धीरे धीरे. This is how it should be related. I hope I am clear, Sunil. Yes.
Also,
Sir, you want to ask something? Yes. Yes, please, Sunil bhai, बोलिए.
नहीं, ऐसा कुछ है, इनको एनक्लोज स्पेसेस में नहीं करना चाहिए, ओपन एयर में करना ज्यादा अच्छा है, बिकॉज वी आर ब्रीदिंग थ्रू द माउथ. और
ट्रू, ये बात मेरे ध्यान में नहीं आई. मैं अभी हम मुंबई जैसे शहर में रहते हैं, दिल्ली जैसे शहर में रहते हैं, पुणे जैसे शहर में रहते हैं. ये शहर का वातावरण इतना वहां पे जो है पोल्यूशन है, और ये पोल्यूटेड एयर अगर कभी प्राणायाम के स्वरूप में अगर कभी हम इनहेल एक्सेल कर रहे हैं, तो शायद हो सकता है हमारे लिए उतना अच्छा नहीं हो, क्योंकि नाक से इनहेल करने से हमारे नाक के अंदर वो सारे तत्व हैं जो प्यूरिफिकेशन को एक रूप देते हैं. लेकिन मुंह में तो ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. हमारे मुख में तो ऐसा कोई फैसिलिटी दी नहीं गई है. तो जब आप इनहेल करते हैं मुंह से, वो डायरेक्टली लंग्स में चला जाता है. When it comes to the nose, it goes through the sinuses. Through that, it is getting purified, and all the impurities are retained, and the pure air enters into the lungs. But this is not happening through the mouth. So, very valid care has to be taken in which kind of atmosphere we should be doing. And when you said whether we should be doing in open enclosed room, I will always suggest it is better to practice all the yogic practices in an enclosed room which is having suitable ventilation. That suitable ventilation should be fair enough to make you breathe in a proper way. खुले वातावरण में, यानी जहां पर हवा स्पीड से बह रही हो, तो the teachers say that you should not practice pranayam in a disturbed atmosphere where the wind may be blowing sometimes slow, sometimes fast, sometimes very fast. That disturbs the rhythm of your breath. Because ultimately pranayam is going to connect you with rhythms, which are ultimately bringing about the peacefulness in your interaction with brain and mind. So when we are doing in a awkward atmosphere, a disturbed atmosphere, believe me, it is not helping you. In fact, it will make you vulnerable. So it is better to practice in an enclosed room where proper ventilation is there, which is making the air in that room balanced, justified to do the practice of pranayama. जैसे हमने फर्स्ट चैप्टर में इस बात को समझा था कि जहां पर ये लिखा हुआ अल्प द्वारा रंध्र गर्त विवरण न अति उच्च निचायतम, है ना, हमने ये पहले चैप्टर में पढ़ा। तो मठ कैसे होना चाहिए जिसका दरवाजा छोटा हो और कोई दूसरे प्रकार की वहां पर खिड़की या और कोई होल ना हो, वो ज्यादा भी नहीं होना चाहिए, ज्यादा नीचा भी नहीं होना चाहिए. That means what is comfortable at that point of time is we need to understand, practice accordingly. That is how the understanding of the place and the breathing should be taken into note. Yes, sir.
So what about then air conditioning? If enclosed space is better,
Never. First of all, air conditioning of the air. So if the external air is getting conditioned, the conditioning which is supposed to happen in the body will be always according to the condition which is taking outside. And you may end up producing wrong results in the body. So we should never do practice in the air conditioned atmosphere. And I should be making you understand this also. This air condition is not at all good health point of view. The CFC gas, which is making the air conditioned, the chlorofluorocarbon, which is making this air clean, is actually containing all the three things which are harmful for our body. And these three things, if we are employing in our living room, resting room, or in the practice room, it is dangerous. In fact, my advice will be we should not be using air conditioners for even living. यहाँ तक कि ऐसे कहा जाता है कि शरीर को वो आदत होनी चाहिए कि बाहर की गर्मी को समझते हुए अंदर का वातावरण कैसे एडजस्ट किया जाए. आपके थायराइड ग्लैंड्स हैं किस लिए? Why are these glandular system there in your body? Act the body to the external atmosphere and make it peaceful within. और अगर कभी हमने एक्सटर्नल एटमॉस्फेयर को मैनिपुलेट किया जो एक्चुअल एक्सटर्नल एटमॉस्फेयर के विरुद्ध है, so understand your internal atmosphere is going to get disturbed. And it has been proved scientifically that people who live or rest in air-conditioned atmosphere have faced lot of problems. Even arthritis is one of such problems coming to them, as well as many kinds of breathing problems also come to them in future. Initially, they don't realize it, but as they keep living like this, ultimately they come across many problems. So this is how we should understand this air-conditioned fact. Ashutosh sir, you wanted to ask something.
First of all, my copy of the book has certain pages missing. So I spent 10 minutes looking for where exactly is the verse that you're talking about. And I couldn't find it. Then I realized that the pages are missing. Then I found out from the internet. That's why I was not able to follow.
So whether those pages are there or not in your book?
No, they are not there. They are not there in the book. Copy of
Okay.
the book. Yeah. So anyway,
I will,
now
but I will.
I have followed afterwards.
Okay, fine. But I will share the PDF file of Hatha Pradipika. So whatever you have missed, you can again revise them. We are in 56th one.
I could find on the internet. I could find
Achha,
a PDF
okay,
copy.
great.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
fine.
now the point is that so many benefits have been talked about Sitkari. Especially I am interested in There is no hunger, no thirst, and no slothfulness. That is alasya. So, have you actually seen any person who has achieved this kind of thing?
Yes, sir. Not only seen, but they are living around us. In fact, I know certain practitioners, they have only one meal a day without any namak mirchi in it, and they are into so much sadhana that they don't feel thirsty every now and then. कहते हैं कि हमको हमारे शरीर को स्वस्थ रखने के लिए मिनिमम 3 लीटर पानी पीना चाहिए, 4 लीटर पानी पीना चाहिए, 5 लीटर पानी पीना चाहिए। ये सब हमारे जैसे लोगों के लिए है। लेकिन जो हकीकत में एक बहुत अच्छे साधक हैं, उनके लिए ये मायने ही नहीं रखता। क्यों? क्योंकि प्राण वायु शरीर के अंदर इस कदर सारी चीजों को बैलेंस कर देता है कि आपको ये एक्सटर्नल सोर्सेस की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ती। यू आर एक्वायरिंग द अल्टीमेट सोर्स।
तो सवाल ये है जाबिर भाई कि इज दिस द रिजल्ट ओनली ऑफ सिद्धकारी और द होल योगा प्रैक्टिस?
होल योगा अभ्यास।
But here it
Whole
is
yoga.
mentioned only Siddhkari will achieve this. So
Here
from
it is mentioned. Yeah.
From tomorrow I will do only Siddhkari, and will I achieve this?
Now here, even if you are doing only Siddhkari, you will be able to achieve it. I won't say that you won't. I would really like to make it very clear. All the practices are going to make you get detached from the symptoms of the body functions. Okay? Even as we were reading and start at the starting shlokas, we even came a shloka where it says okay, the whole body is purified to such a great extent that you won't find that the mala in the body is getting produced at all. That means even the mutra and purisha is becoming extinct, almost null. तो शरीर के अंदर अगर इम्प्यूरिटीज ही नहीं है तो आपको बाहर निकालने के लिए रहेगा क्या? The body has nothing to remove out. So that is the ultimate understanding of practicing pranayama. Now here, Swatmaram ji is in his poetic language और या फिर आपके जो श्लोक की जो गुणता होती है वो उसके अंदर जो प्रशंसा होते रहनी चाहिए, हर श्लोक में उन्होंने वो प्रशंसा को ऐड करने की कोशिश की है कि भाई ये ऐसे करने से ऐसे होगा, ऐसे करने से ऐसे होगा। बट दिस थिंग शुड नॉट बी focused only for one practice. In fact, it should be understood as a cumulative approach of holistic yoga. So should be taken. हाँ, सुनील भाई।
Incidentally, so I was at this nursery, plants वाली nursery होती है। तो earlier this week, तो ऐसे I was talking to the lady and ऐसे बातचीत हो रही तो मैंने कहा भाई या तो आप बड़ा अच्छा काम करते हैं, ये तो बड़ा बढ़िया। बोले हाँ, एक एडवांटेज ये भी है कि नर्सरी वाले कभी बीमार नहीं पड़ते, क्योंकि हम इतनी ग्रीनरी में रहते हैं, हम इतनी शुद्ध हवा इनहेल करते हैं कि बीमारी हमारे पास फटकती नहीं है।
Very true. In fact, I share, I have been born and brought up in Mumbai, but every time when I go to my native place, even for 3 days to 5 days, the second day to third day itself, I am not experiencing any resemblance of constipation, any resemblance of acidity, any resemblance of feeling that sleeplessness or disturbed things. But when I come back to Mumbai, because of the kind of routine that we are involved in, the air that we are inhaling and exhaling makes us vulnerable. The moment we go into the cleaner environment, we feel good, we feel fresh. Yes, sir. Ashutosh bhai, done? Yeah, okay, fine. So we will go ahead and understand Sheetali now. Jivaya Vayum Akrushya Purvat Kumbh Sadhanam Shanakai Grana Parandhabhyam Retayet Pavnam Sudhi. Inhaling by manipulating the tongue, Kumbhaka, that is retention of the breath, should be performed. As before, it has been given. You understood earlier. And then the practitioner, the yogi, should exhale slowly through both the nostrils. Now here, Jivaya Vayu Akusha. जीभ से आपको सांस अंदर लेना है, तो जीभ से अंदर सांस कैसे लेंगे? Very clearly said that you have to roll your tongue and make it pipe-like structure. As you make this pipe-like structure with your tongue, you are inhaling through that tongue, retaining the breath in. As you are done with the kumbhaka, you are releasing the chin lock and going for rechaka through both the nostrils. This is what is said. अब यहाँ पर देखो, whether it is Sitkari or whether it is Shitali, they both are cooling pranayam. And here I would like to mention one thing. All the pranayams are supposed to produce heat in the body. So the question should come in front of us whether Sitkari and Shitali is going to produce heat. देह अनल विवर्तनम की बात की जाती है बार बार, और हमें कहा जाता है कि हर कुंभक से जो है हमारे शरीर के अंदर अग्नि तत्व बढ़ते और कुंडलिनी का स्टिमुलेशन होता है। और ये जो भी बेनिफिट्स बताए जा रहे हैं, ये बेनिफिट्स भी कहीं ना कहीं हीट के इंप्रूवमेंट की वजह से है। शरीर के अंदर देह अनल का विवर्ध होना, ये सिम्टम्स हैं। आप यहाँ पर तो ये दोनों तो कूलिंग है। आप मुंह से जब सांस लेते हैं, the salivary glands in your oral cavity, whether they are sublingual, maxillary or mandibular, they are all consuming the air that you are inhaling, and this cool air is going into your lungs. In fact, this cool air is absorbed in the bloodstream, which is taken to each and every cell, and the whole body feels coolness. और ऐसे कहा जाता है जिनको एसिडिटी है, जिनको हाई प्रेशर है, जिनके शरीर में हीट ज्यादा है, जिनको पित्त दोष है, उन्होंने ये दो प्राणायाम के अभ्यास निरंतर करते रहना चाहिए. दे शुड प्रैक्टिस दिस टू प्राणायाम रेगुलरली. लेकिन जो प्राणायाम का पर्पस है हीट को प्रोड्यूस करना, क्या वो यहां हो रहा है? यस, हो रहा है. नाउ हियर already the body that we are living has its own अग्नि तत्व. मैंने पहले भी कभी आप लोगों के साथ में डिस्कस करते हुए ये कहा कि the absence of cold is heat, the absence of darkness, the absence of light is darkness, the absence of heat is cold. और ये कहते हुए मैं यहां पर ये कहना चाहता हूं कि हमारे शरीर के अंदर एक पर्टिकुलर हीट हमेशा बनी रहती है. आयुर्वेद कहता है कि हमारे शरीर में 13 अग्नियां हैं, जठरा अग्नि, पंचमहाभूत अग्नि और सप्त धातु अग्नि. ये 13 अग्नियां अपनी अपनी कार्य नियमित रूप से कर रहे हैं. दे आर ऑलवेज परफॉर्मिंग देयर ड्यूटीज, whether you are concerned about them or not. The heat is carrying out their work. Now here when you are doing Shitali and Sitkari, the body as a Panchamahabhautik Sharira is certainly getting that coolant. It is certainly becoming cool. But at the same time, the heat in the body is being concentrated at a certain region. And it is said in one of the texts, I don't remember it now, but certainly come back to you when I remember. It says the heat is concentrated in the region where it is required the most. The basic region in your body where the all the activities are given their forms is because of this region of the heat, and that is said to be Mooladhar, Swadhisthana, Manipur region. ये सेंटर है हीट का, और इसी से पूरे शरीर के अंदर जो है ना सेंट्रलाइजेशन होता है हीट का. जैसे हम कहते हैं ना एसी का सेंट्रलाइजेशन, तो जहां पर उसका मशीन होता है वहां से वो पूरे रूम के अंदर एसी, पूरे मॉल के अंदर जो है ना वो एसी का सेंट्रलाइजेशन होता है. There is a place where And this is the place in our body where it is produced. And when we understand that because of the practice of this cooling pranayama, the external body or the body, grosser body, is becoming cooler and cooler. The heat in the body is becoming concentrated and concentrated more in that region where actually the Kundalini is supposed to be getting that heat. तो ये हमको समझना चाहिए कि ये शीतली और सितकारी का अभ्यास इसलिए होता है ताकि बार बार जो हमारी शरीर की जो अग्नि है वो फोकस्ड और कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड होकर उस जगह पर पहुंचे जहां पर ऐसे समझा जाता है कि कुंडलिनी यहाँ वास करती है और इसका स्टिमुलेशन होकर जागरूक होकर इसका चलना और मध्य से प्रवेश करते हुए आगे बढ़ना ये हमारा गोल है भले इट इज कंसेप्चुअल but it is understood that way. So this is how we need to understand Shikari as a part and parcel of the Ashtakumbhaka, where they are also responsible for making and developing that heat in a very right manner and letting it to get concentrated in that region and let the changes take place. And when these changes are taking place, what is the result? What is the result? If you see the 58th shloka, it says, Gulma, Pleha, Adikan, Rogan, Jwaram, Pittam, Shuddha. Vishani, Shitali, Nam, Kumbhaka. This Kumbhaka, which is called as Shit, is destroying the diseases related to glands. Now, whether they are endocrine glands or exocrine glands, or they are mixed glands, every gland in the body is getting benefit of the practice of Shitali and Siddhari. Aage, disorders of spleen, fever of any kind, disorders of bile, hunger, thirst, and all poisons that the person might have been developing will be taken care of. Now, poisons means what? Imbalances. Imbalances, poisons. Imbalances create toxins, and these toxins are nothing but poisons. जैसे कि नेचुरोपैथी का फॉर्मूला ही है कि भाई आपकी अलग अलग आदतों की वजह से आपके शरीर में जो है ये टॉक्सिक डेवलप होता है, इट्स लाइक अ पॉइजन, और ये पॉइजन को निकालना ही अपने आप हेल्दी बनाने जैसा है. तो जाहिर बात है यहाँ पर ये जो प्राणायाम की जो प्रैक्टिस हम कर रहे हैं, इट विल हेल्प अस टू ओवरकम वेरियस डिसऑर्डर्स, वेरियस प्रॉब्लम्स, एंड एट द सेम टाइम help us to overcome imbalances like developing poisons in the body or eating poison which may be poisonous and making it getting digested in the practices of such kind of pranayama. When we say disorders of spleen, spleen is belonging to the lymphatic system which is concerned about our immunity, the WBC production. So just imagine any infection in the body is going to bring about the problems related to spleen. The lymphoid or the lymphomatic tumors in the body, the lymphomatics are developed in breast, in groin, in armpits, in the throat region, around the tonsils, and these are all connected with spleen. Spleen is the center organ of the lymphatic system. So imagine this practice of Shitali Siddhari also helping us to overcome that issue. And when we say disorders of bile, it is very clearly understood that disorders of bile is concerned with the pitta. That means producing imbalanced heat in the body. Taking care of that, hunger, thirst are also taken care of. So this is how the benefit are to be understood. Because the cooling is taking place in the external body and all the functions of the body are carried out as gross body. But we need to understand the Sukshma Sharir also, where the pure changes are taking place, which are essential in order to excel on the path of yoga. So this is how we need to understand the practice of pranayam. तो आज हमने 3 प्राणायाम किए, एक उज्जयी, एक सिद्धकारी और शीतली. This we can read again and again to and try to understand and bring about the clarification of the doubts in the next class also, if anything. Now 3-4 minutes remaining there, we can have some discussion.
Yeah, we are going to learn this, no? We are going to actually do this, no?
Yes, yes. We are going
So today after the class, please stay for 2 minutes. We will talk about a group class and then learning, etc. Sabir bhai, now so talking about poisons removal, now we are inhaling a lot of poison through the air. So, one, in that poisonous atmosphere, is it wise to do these over extended period? And second, by the performance of these, is the effect of these airborne poisons also mitigated?
One thing we should keep in our mind, as the prerequisites has been explained, the accumulated toxins in the body should be first removed, whether with Shatkarma or with Nadi Shodhan. Even the Deha Shuddhi should be done with the practice of asanas, as we have understood that. Then you are ready for the practice of prana. Now, when the body is purified and when we are practicing pranayama, it is helping us, no doubt about it. Though the breath that we are inhaling is polluted, and body has its own mechanism to remove this kind of toxins, and the kind of practice we are doing, that will also destroy this kind of poisons in the body. So nothing wrong in doing the practice in the kind of city we live or the kind of air we are inhaling. But at the same time, we should understand whether we have followed the earlier measures. Many people do not do the earlier measures and they directly start practicing pranayam, which is dangerous. अगर हमने शरीर के अंदर की पहले की गंदगी को अगर कभी निकाला नहीं, तो जो दूसरी पॉल्यूशंस जो हमारे शरीर में एंटर करने वाली है, उसको कैसे हम संभाल सकेंगे? इनफैक्ट more than doing justice to the body, we will be doing injustice to it. So we can understand this problem in this way, and it is better to do Palmati, it is better to do Vamana, it is better to do Jalaniti or Rabaniti, and remove all kind of impurities from the body and get purified. Even Bhakti we should do. So that's how our approach should be. Yes, sir. Any other thing there in your mind? So done, no doubts. So we will stop here. We will go ahead and wind up the session. Still 1 minute is there. If anyone is having any doubt, they can still ask.
Sheetkari and Sheetli and Sitkari can be done one after the other in the same session?
Yes, it can be done in the same session. But usually it is done as an option. Those who cannot do Sheetli better do Sitkari. Those who cannot do Sitkari can continue with Sheetli. Or both can be done. Because if you see the other Ashtakumbhaka in Ghiran Samhita, only Sheetli has been mentioned. Sitkari के लिए वहां पर जगह नहीं है. Sitkari का टेक्निक नहीं है. So here Sheetli is. तो अगर आप शीतली नहीं कर सकते हैं तो आप चितकारी कीजिए, ऐसा ऑप्शन टीचर्स लोग भी दे देते हैं. We can go ahead with that. So we will wind up.
Oh. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you. Namaste. Now, so we are contemplating A group class in the morning, 5 days a week. Okay. Jay Kumar, how has been the experience with that class so far?
See, the class is starting the 5:45